Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. Today I'm going to give you guys my performance review on the Anta Kai 1 team, which is in a long line of Anta Kai 1 shoes in terms of the Anta Kai 1, the regular version, and the Kai 1 Speed. And the Kai 1 team, they are going for $100 right now on Dick's Sporting Goods as well as Anta.com. So it is the cheapest version of the Anta Kai 1 line. So if you guys are interested, I will leave a link in the description box below. Now, getting straight into it, as far as trying them on, they are very tight at first, so you do have to open up the laces quite a bit from top to bottom just to get your foot inside the shoe. But after a while, once you start breaking it in, it's going to be easier every time you wear it. So be mindful of that at the beginning. It's going to be very tight. As far as sizing is concerned, I would go down half a size if you want like a very nice snug fit. As far as the width is concerned and as far as the length, because it is nice and snug. In the beginning, it does break down a little bit to open it up a little bit more, so be mindful of that as far as sizing is concerned. So because of that, I would probably go down half a size. For narrow footers, you should probably do the same. And for wide footers, because it is more accommodating for wide footers, I would go true to size because of that. So as far as going in sizes, if you're a narrow foot, go down half a size. If you're a wide footer, go true to size. Now, moving on to the traction, you are going to get this full-length rubber outsole, and you're going to get in the forefoot 2 radial digitized pods. And as you get to the midfoot and into the heel, you're going to get a more traditional herringbone, which is very similar to the traction pattern that you get in the Nike Gel 1s. And as far as how they gripped for me, they were really grippy in my opinion and very tacky at the same time. But it did require some breaking time because initially it felt like I was sliding all over the place. But once you break it in, it is very nice and grippy and tacky at the same time. So as far as lateral movements, you're going to be nice and quick and shifty going from side to side. And the same thing goes with vertical movements. I found them to be very quick when it comes to stopping on a dime. You're going to do so. And the get-offs felt lightning fast. So you're going to have a quick jolt of acceleration from the traction setup that you get in this. So it was pretty good as far as vertical quickness is concerned. For dusty courts, it does pick up a good bit of dust. It looked like a coat in the forefoot, but everywhere else it was pretty distributed at the end of the day. But it doesn't stick to it, so if you wipe it down every now and then, you're going to be just fine. It doesn't really stick the more you play in it because you do have to acclimate the rubber. That way it doesn't get too sticky on the floor. And as far as durability goes, it is actually very good. The only signs of wear that I'm experiencing are the bald spots that you get along the higher areas, especially where this arrow setup is on the lateral side of the shoe. And it has micro gritting when it comes to the traction pattern, and it's just balding out the rubber itself. So as far as that's concerned, I would probably play in these outdoors because of the thickness of the rubber, and the hardness of the rubber itself is quite hard. So you should be good to go when it comes to playing outdoors. So at the end of the day, it's very good. You just have to break them in indoors. If it does pick up dust, just wipe it off and you're going to be fine. And if you want to play outdoors, you are going to be good to go because of the hardness of the rubber and the wear that I have experienced so far in these. Now, digging into the cushioning setup, it wasn't really specific on what the foam of the midsole is made out of. It's just stating that it is a full palm rebound midsole from front to back. And as far as how they performed, they were actually pretty good in my opinion. And the forefoot, I found them to be very responsive and very twitchy at the same time. You were able to be really reactive on the floor, and I found it to be nice and quick and reactive at the same time. And it has a little lively amount of feel under your foot, and it is very low. At times you do feel like you are stepping on the actual floor itself, which is kind of weird. So you're going to have really nice court feel in these because of the low stack of foam that you're going to get. And to enhance the responsiveness even further, you do get a midfoot shank plate that is top loaded. So you're going to have a nice springboard-like feel under your foot. So you're going to have a nice springboard-like effect in the forefoot especially. So the only issue I have in the forefoot is because of the low stack that you get, and at times you feel like you're touching the floor. So that's like the only issue that I have with these, with the low to the ground feel that you're going to have in these. Moving into the heel, they are pretty comfortable and they feel really soft on foot, and as a result, it has very nice compression in the heel, so it is very forgiving. And as a result, the impact protection was very good when it came down to heel strikes and stuff like that. So very good as far as the midsole is concerned. There isn't any specifics on it. And as far as fluidity goes, they are very fluid because of the forgiveness that you get in the heel. It is very mellow in the heel, and as a result, with a combination of the shank and as well as the responsiveness in the forefoot, you're going to have very smooth heel to toe transitions along with an insanely fast transition at that. So you're able to be going up and down the court pretty fast, and at times I feel like I'm shooting myself out of a cannon, which was very nice and very overwhelming at the beginning, but I got used to it overall because of the low stack of foam that you get. So you're gonna have a really reactive feel under your foot. So at the end of the day, it is a very quick, responsive cushioning setup with a very low to the ground feel in the forefoot with enough forgiveness in the heel so that you're gonna have a nice comfortable feel under your foot. Now diving into the materials, you're going to get a basic engineered mesh material that you get here in the forefoot, and it continues into the lateral, and you're gonna get some more in the medial side of the shoe, and you're gonna get some fuse overlays right here in the toe box area in the forefoot. The tongue itself is made up of engineered mesh as well, with a good bit of padding on the top of the tongue, and you're going to get some decent padding here in the back with some Achilles pillows that you can see in the back. And as far as how they feel, they are actually pretty comfortable. At first though, in the forefoot, it is a little stiff, so you're going to have to break it in at first because it does pinch your foot at the beginning. But once you break it in, it starts to flex pretty nice and you won't experience any irritations here in the forefoot. And because of the padding that you get on the tongue, it is nice and forgiving, and I didn't get any lace irritation from the laces itself. And the same thing goes with the padding in the back. It isn't as much as in the Kai 1 and the Kai 1 Speed because the padding that I got on there was very cumbersome and was very molding to the back of my foot. But this is no slouch. It is a slight downgrade when it comes to the padding in the back, in my opinion, and also with the tongue, especially with the padding that you get. So pretty comfortable at the end of the day. Just be mindful that you do have to break it in, especially in the forefoot. And as far as how they look, I really like the design. It kind of reminds me of the OG Nike Kyrie ones with the flame outsole that you get on the medial side of the shoe, and you get a little bit more of it in the lateral side of the shoe, which I found pretty cool in my opinion. It kind of looks like the Kyrie one from Nike, so it was a pretty nice callback to the shoe itself, which was pretty cool. And I also like the patterns that you get draped all around the material that you get in the forefoot, and it continues into the lateral, and you get a little bit more in the medial side of the shoe, which is pretty cool. And I also like the Kyrie logo patches that you get on the tongue, as well as the patch that you get on the back, with some more hieroglyphics that you get on the back patch in the back of the shoe. So at the end of the day, it is a comfortable shoe, but it does require some breaking time. It looks like a downgrade in terms of the materials with the basic textile engineered mesh material that you get, but it is no slouch, and it is pretty well designed regardless because of the overall look and the just design language of the shoe itself, which hones back to the regular Nike Kyrie ones. Now, moving into the lockdown, to me, in my opinion, they were very good, but I did ran into a couple of issues when I was playing in them. But outside of that, in the forefoot, you are pretty much locked in because of the length and the width of the shoe itself. It's pretty much spot on, and it is a true one-to-one fit when it comes to the forefoot, so you're not going to be sliding in it laterally or vertically in that case. And the midfoot is where I ran into a little bit of issues. In the midfoot, the lacing system is pretty standard. You do get this cabled system in the middle of the midfoot that enhances the grip that you get from the tongue itself. And I did run into a couple of issues when it came to lacing them up. There are some spots along the midfoot area where the laces just pretty much stay stuck to the material itself. So it was kind of annoying to deal with, especially with trying to adjust the laces throughout the shoe to remove any hot spots throughout the shoe. So that was kind of annoying to deal with, as well as the laces coming undone when I kept relacing them. Like 4 to 5 times in the game they came undone, and it was very annoying to deal with, and I had to double lace them. That way it didn't unlace itself entirely. So if you run into that, just double lace it and you're going to be pretty much good to go. Just be mindful at that it is going to be stuck in some spots because of the material that you get, which is really thin, and it does kind of stick to it a little bit. So that was kind of an annoyance to deal with, and it comes undone. Just be sure that if it happens, double lace it, that way it doesn't unlace again. And in the heel, it is a little bit of heel slippage at the beginning, but as you break in the padding in the back with the Achilles pillows that you get, it is essentially non-existent to a point where you get like a little whiff of heel slippage. So once you break it in, it is pretty much good to go, and you won't experience it that much. So it is solid at the end of the day, but it was very irritating to say the least in the midfoot because of the stuck laces that you get, as well as the laces coming undone with just a regular lace up. And last but not least, when it comes to support, they were very good and very well designed with the overall structure that you get from the shoe, especially with the lateral support. You do get this arched midsole that you actually sit in, so you're going to have some containment from the midsole itself. And in the midfoot, you also get this TPU plate that wraps up into the material to give you some nice containment. And in the heel, you get a pretty standard heel counter, so you're going to have some nice containment entertainment there. And the overall lateral support to me, it was very nice and very containing. Didn't experience any instabilities as far as lateral cuts was concerned from the forefoot all the way into the back. So in the forefoot, midfoot, and heel, you're going to have an abundance of lateral support. When it comes to the torsional support, it is actually very balanced inside the shoe because you get a TPU shank here in the midfoot, so you're going to have some nice rigidity and balance at the same time with a clip that you get in the lateral and medial side of the midfoot, so you're going to have some nice stability in and out of the shoe, and it is rigid when it needs to be in the midfoot while carrying some flexibility. That way it doesn't feel too stiff, and the base of the shoe is fairly wide and very flat too because of the flat outsole that you get. So it is very nice and balanced in and out of the shoe. So as far as overall supportive structure is concerned, it is very well balanced and an abundant amount of support, in my opinion, considering the price that you get for them. So very supportive at the end of the day when it comes to lateral, torsional, base support as well. It ticks all the boxes on what you need when it comes to support, and it is very well designed at that, giving you a very nice balanced feel while not being hesitant doing what you need to do on the court. So to sum it up for you guys, this is a very good shoe for the price that you get, especially for $100. And if you don't have the money for the Anta Kai 1 or the Kai 1 Speed, this is a very solid option because the traction is no slouch. It's very grippy. As long as you break it in indoors and outdoors, you're going to be good to go. Cushioning isn't like the greatest. It's very low to the ground compared to the Kai 1 and the Kai 1 Speed. They're a little bit more higher up and they're a little bit more forgiving as far as the overall comfort of the cushioning, but it is no slouch. It is a slight step down when it comes to the cushioning setup, but it does serve its purpose as far as being responsive and comfortable at the end of the day. Materials, they're pretty much on par. They're pretty comfortable at the end of the day. Just need some break-in. But in the lockdown, when it came to the midfoot, it was a little bit of an issue with the laces being stuck and the fact that laces come undone with just a regular lace up. But the support is no slouch. It's as supportive as the Kai 1 and the Kai 1 Speed, in my opinion. So if you're looking for support, you can't go wrong with the Kai 1 team, in my opinion. So it is a very solid shoe. And if you want to stay on a budget while trying to get something in Kyrie's line, the Kai 1 team is a good choice. You save a good bit of money at the end of the day. So yeah, it is no slouch compared to the Kai 1 and the Kai 1 Speed. So if you're on a budget, the Kai 1 team is a solid choice. Thank you guys for watching this video. This has been my performance review on the Anta Kai 1 team. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and comment down below on what you think of the Kai 1 team. What is the best Kai 1 out of the bunch, the regular, the Speed, or the team? I would like to know your thoughts, as well as any other questions that you might have. And if you'd like to stay up to date with future videos that I'll be posting, hit the subscribe button down below. It'll greatly support the channel as well. And if you want to see my reviews on the Kai 1 and Kai 1 Speed, they will be on the corners of the screen right here. And if you want to follow me on social media, all of the information will be in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. And until next time, keep shooting.